made a way when there is no way. I'm redeemed, this is my story. You so I see you there. You so I see you there. Oh, I go for your son, see you there. You so I see you there. When I come in you so I see you there. They do it now, when I come in you, well. You put your one, you see you there. You so I see you there. When I see God's doing in my life, I have no option but to praise His name. My Lord, I will follow you till the end. Ooh, I'm lost without you. My journey, I get up on a model.
Good evening, folks. I'm Alfonso Z and so of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. That was a beautiful gospel song there by a Liberian gospel artist based in UK, Minister Johnson. We say thank you. See you there. If you from the choir side there, from my Sano area there, my people then. That is Pee Wee Tucklet. Good evening, Mr. Salt, Washington from work. In mass. Oh, thank you. We are right here in the Cincinnati. We say good evening. Thank you so much to all of our friends, viewers, listeners across the globe. Today is Friday, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God I am here. Thank God the liberal is not in charge. The liberal is now all over the place trying to make friends with our analysts so that he can get his way through. Madam Seattle Thompson, good evening. Welcome in the house of LPR. These are our prime time viewers, listeners. Samson told the Liberal does not have time. He doesn't welcome our guests. All he does is to slam them if he's not praised. If he's not praised, he has adapted this sort of Donald Trump style that people should go around the room and give him a hand clap, how he's working and all of that. But I can tell you, I'm in charge tonight. Your comments, your tweet will be saved because the liberal is not in charge. I don't understand why he said he liberal in the first place. We say good evening and welcome. Today is the 12th of May. Wow, 12th of May. A lot is unfolding. Very shortly, the panelists is going to be here, crewbot. Good evening. Just do us a favor. Sometimes it's difficult when we're doing this thing here to hit the share button at the same time. Like the liberal said, no producer, we're doing it by ourselves. And so hands going multiple places at the same time makes it very difficult, challenging to get this thing going. But we count on you to help us to facilitate this conversation. I am Alfonso Z and Salt of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV right here this evening. We say welcome to the show. If you are in Liberia, whatever you are, we say good evening. You are on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Diaspora Informative News Magazine. We have a conversation. Some of the conversations I do not pivot in your political direction. But guess what? You always, no matter what, you are here to make sure that these conversations are held. So that's one of the things. Whether you agree with us, you don't agree with us, we always come here. We always have these critical conversations for which we really, really appreciate. And thank you so much for all what you do in terms of your just chilling, hanging out with us. Your comments are so much resourceful. They help us a lot in the interim to make us to know things that we don't even grab as well. And so without you, trust me, we can't just do it by ourselves. So that is very crucial for us to acknowledge. So we want you to do that. Okay, I am Alfonso Z and Salt of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Welcome to the show. The time is 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. Be the first to know right here on LPR. If it is from LPR, it got to be good. We don't just break news because we want to break news, because we want to entertain people, but when we provide it, it means it's been verified and it's well authenticated. Welcome, my man Eduardo, right here. We'll say happy, what? This weekend, is it a Mother's Day weekend? Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers, sisters, and all over across the world, especially those of you that have committed so much to this network. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this evening. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. The analyst is going to be here very shortly, and we're going to be having this conversation here as usual, so that we will make sure that we discuss this issue. This is the executive mansion. Executive mansions is the official residence or dwelling house, the house under our constitution. If you are elected, this is where you go and this is where you will be. But what is going on there? The Liberal is already here with me. I'm not sure whether he's going to join me in fight with me here this evening, but that's not even going to happen. So I guarantee you. Just bear with me quick. I'm doing some little bit housekeeping here. I'll be with you. We'll say good evening. What a date. Happy Friday. And we're going to be having some conversation here. Or you will also be part of the conversations. Okay. So the opposition's Alternative National Congress is in the battleground of Nimba County, running out of options with the VP pick. Why? What is going on? How this whole thing turned around? We're going to be having these conversations and other news making headlines. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio. Let me bring in the Liberal Progressive. He's here this evening, and I'll have to do what I can, as usual, to accommodate him. So let's get a ball rolling. Yeah, we go from Saxton, Sacramento, the most liberal on this network, Samson Bloku Brown Toe / LPP USA / Unity Party USA Liberia support Joseph Boyka. Question mark. If Boyka does not come out to speak like he said, going to Tiawan Gonglo. He's waiting to hear from Gonglo in the USA this week. Tomorrow, we're going to be bringing you live images. If Tiawan doesn't, he will go back to CDC. Let's see how that plays out here. The Liberal Progressive, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Soul. Thank you for having us again this evening. We appreciate it.
Good and fair analysis.
Well, I'm not here. Those are your thought. Those are your view. I'm not going to quarrel with you on those views. You're entitled to it. What you're not entitled to is the truth. So, but I'm not here to try to educate you on how the liberal is going to portion his life earned respect in terms of who he's going to back and what have you. But those are your views, and you're entitled to them.
Okay, let me just speak to my folks here, because you're in the habit, folks, people that take up their time, precious time to listen to your tabata you'll be saying here. In as much as sounds like people drinking Jolobo, they try to hang in there simply because of me, because of Amos George, because of Sissy, all right, and another person. So let's welcome some of our folks here. And Madam Helen Wilson, thank you so much. Of course, Joseph Andrew Bito, thank you so much. Cha Glory JG, for all kinds of need. Thank you so much. And of course, Duaro in the house, Dixon Tamers, Helena Wilson, and Mr. Kanto himself. Oh, I don't know why it's not even allowing me to share the Facebook here. Can we sue this Mike Zuckerberg guy? Why it doesn't give people, sometimes you share, sometimes it doesn't. Why? Or you the one doing it?
Well, Mr.
Why
Soul,
when your program comes on, I try to do it perfectly, it goes through. But when it is time for me, by the time you appear, everything's cut off.
Mr. Soul, you can
Are
do
you behind my things falling apart on this network?
No, what I think you might want to do is perhaps contact Councillor Johnson in Monrovia who is representing Councillor Johnson, who is representing lots and lots of people in Monrovia right now. Perhaps you can contact him and he will take Zuckerberg to court. He's a good counselor. I'm just giving you a recommendation.
It's so ridiculous. Why Councillor Johnson, what he has to do with my
You
share?
said you wanted to deal with Mike Zuckerberg, and I'm saying contact Councillor Johnson, who is a good lawyer in Liberia, and perhaps he can come here and help you with your problem with the councillor.
Is there something that you really want to say, or you want to use a Johnson bear wagon to throw whatever you want to say here this evening? Because I know you very well. You're starting out gradually. You're starting out because I have greeted the audience. I have extended my felicitations of their kindness, their devotion, their time, which you don't do. But you frown on them. You try to chastise people with their comments because they don't praise you, because they don't agree with you. So you're bringing in Johnson. Why Johnson have to do with what we are talking about?
Mr. So perhaps you know it, you know the truth, but you just want to be a denier. But what I can say to that is I am well loved here on LPR, and the audience love me. They appreciate me, and they make that expression very well to thank me. But the point that I'm making, you say you wanted to take Mike Zuckerberg to court because of what is happening with you and your Facebook or what have you. And I'm simply just saying, as one of the best lawyers in Liberia, Councillor Johnson will be a very great help to you at this time. That's all. I'm giving you a recommendation.
Yeah, this total guy here. Whatever. All right. Whatever you say, something, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, guys. Good evening, Mr. Tillett from PA. Good evening. Welcome to Ibrahim Bangu. Is it Kiyantat Weir? Of course. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Okay, Deliberate. Good to have you here. And good that we are back. We don't break news here. We don't manufacture news. We don't how you call it, bad mouth people. And I've been listening to a lot of news out there. And it is quite amazing, some of the talking points of these people. But again, if you look on the other side of the coin, these are things people love to see and love to hear. We have really issues at stake that we need to be discussing and to hold these politicians accountable. We don't pick these things out, but it's important that we have this discussion here. So, running out of options with the VP pick. Why? Just before coming on air, talking to an executive, it is still inconclusive. ANC is still in a surge. So, it makes me to generate a few questions here, and we're going to be having a conversation here with other news making headline, and of course, the recommendations of our viewers and listeners of their time. The choice of picking vice presidents is not in a vacuum. And why is it so necessary? Is it important? What should you look for in making the pick of a vice presidential candidate? What should be the contingency plan, the backup plan when you are having this? When should a presidential, somebody who is expiring, somebody who seems to be the presumptive nominee or forerunner of his or her party, knowing fully where you're going to be, or you have desired a couple of years down the road. This is not something you wake up in the night and you get to say, I want to be president. No. It's well calculated. It's well thought. So how? But what I'm hearing, if and only if it is true, and I yet to verify that, a couple of months ago, Mr. Benedict Alexander Cummings, the ANC leader, he has a committee put in place. And I think he did mention that to do the vetting process. And that was part of being inclusive in decision making. But to my surprise, what I heard from the top insider, nothing much was done. They did not come up with something comprehensive. And I think this is why we are where we are today. It is uncertain. Probably anything can happen. But from what we know, up to the moment coming into this live field, talking to an executive ANC, when I say executive, a decision maker, it is still inconclusive. Even though one of the persons that they're talking to is attending the convention, we don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? There might be an overnight decision. But the conventions is cardinal. There where, because you're going to have the nominees of some of those people that are contesting. I watched some of the images today. Those are going to be contesting for representative senators and all of that. And so when you nominate or when you choose your running mate, you take momentum out of that convention. So if anything that happens outside of the convention, it kills the substance of the conversation. Liberal, let's have a conversation here because the other ANC woman, since he's going to be peaceful, by the time he come here, Jenna, the whole kingdom going to capsize. How they got to this point here? What went wrong? We saw, I think, 52 persons committee, the presidential committee, exploratory or whatever committee, you remember, right? McIntyre graduate, Louis Brown, who came with Retire Suffering campaign, all of that. What were they doing? How did the vetting go out? What were some of the names actually recommended to the political leader, Alexander Cummings? From all indications, he desired. And we're going to dive into where he also kicked the can down the road to get him to be where he is here today. What should a presidential or aspirant be? What's the key to what the choices? What should he or he should consider in picking the vice president? Why are we here at this time? We don't have one.
Yeah, Mr. So, first thing first, let me just let you know and the audience, I've never been in this position before where I have to pick up a national vice president.
Who will put you there? Big you, man. In total,
Mr. So, what you let it live? What do you mean?
Thank God you never been there. It would be a disaster. Yeah, but go ahead on a serious note.
No, on a very serious note. So everything that I'm going to be saying here is not based on experience, and some will be speculation, and those are just my own views as well. Look, Mr. So, I think with the upcoming election and my engagement as LPR member of LPR family, who's also doing a lot of interview and talking with friends and stuff about Liberian politics, specifically with Mr. Cummings. I think I'm not too sure how, when all this said and done, how we're going to rate this second Cummings 2.0 to that as the first time. Because for some reason, the first time you would say perhaps the young man, and he's very young, 66.
I'm getting myself off the screen. I don't want you to start screaming here, why this and that. For the respect of the audience, I don't have my glass with me here. Whatever you using the bottle, I'm not gonna be like you or other people just take bottle here. So I don't want you to start screaming and start panicking to get your cholesterol up. So go ahead.
Thank you. In fact, I was going to ask you to do that for me anyway, because the audience like to see this fine face. So it's not a big deal. But the point, on a very serious note, of course, this face is fine. That is serious as well. But on a very serious note, I'm not too sure why is it that when all of these well-experienced, well-seasoned politicians would join Cummings, and for some reason, I don't see any, and I could be wrong, but I don't see some sort of a collaborative effort from these well-seasoned politicians. I don't see them coming up with statements, a joint statement or statement that will be made on behalf of ANC, and people are going to be gravitating towards that kinds of statement to last for some time. They came up with a thing here at one time with Retire Suffering. It didn't go anywhere. In fact, by the time CDC was done reclassifying that with Retire Suffering, they drop it. They drop it because the CDC started putting their own wording in it, and it's not going anywhere. In other words, they are catching phrases that they're supposed to use to make people to gravitate toward them. They're not coming through. And then lastly, Mr. So I'm also a little bit, I'm not confused, but I'm a little bit surprised in that Mr. Cumming has been on this route before. And that's what I said here the last time, that I'm not too sure if Mr. Cumming was giving data of his past election involvement. And Mr. So why you put me on that team? Because by the time the ANC central right coming, my face will be on the Facebook number. Please put yourself back on our side. And don't be, yeah, we go. Thank you. Yeah, we can't be putting me on there, and I need to stay in that position. That's my lucky position. That's my blessed position. But anyhow, Mr. So, the fact that all of these things are happening, and Comey has been on this before. This is not his first rodeo. Let's put it this way. And for some reason, this thing is just getting out of the gate. It's becoming much more difficult, I think, than what you would think will be coming from the most experienced and most real leader in this whole debacle. Kumi is the real leader, but for some reason, I'm not too sure that getting out of this gate is something that is giving them a hard time. I'm hoping, and we will see what will be the outcome of the convention. This is not what I was expecting, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I had this, Mr. Liberal, thank you. I didn't know you're based in North Dakota. Angela Sakit, good evening. Jacob, thank you for being here. And of course, our man Maziki, thank you so much. But I want us to do some for tracing here. Politicians, and sometimes when politicians, when they slip or their political tone sometimes catch up with them in the long run, and very late they realize that. We hosted Mr. Cummings here once. We had an opportunity, and we're really hoping to ask some questions. The idea or his thought of not willing to go second, and I know his ultimate goal, everybody wants to be first, but politicians always leave door open. It appears the door, everything was sealed out. I can't. This is what I'm talking about. You narrowed the scope. You narrowed the conversations when the going gets tough and the tough gets going. Because eventually, this whole thing is all about collaboration. Collaborations in the sense there will come a time, in as much something told is a pain in the neck, but there will come a time I will want to deal with him. Somehow I have to swallow that bitter pill. Now, if you draw a definitive red tip, that I cannot go this way here. So then the question becomes, who will want to go in that direction? And your opponent can capitalize on that. Do you think that was statement on the part of Cummings? Yes, he wants to be the number one person. When I want to be, everybody wants to get to the top. But he closes the door. Was that a good strategy?
Mr. So, and just you in particular, but before I do that, let me welcome my good friend, Mr. Tommy So, who is watching me. He's not watching you. He's watching me all the way from...
Should I play his recording what he said?
No, Mr. So, please, stay out, but stay out of it, the man myself business. We're not inviting you in there. Why you want to play the... No, stay out of it.
Just for us to be sure that we, whether he on your side. You want
you on my side. You almost. I don't want to hear it. Just keep it to yourself. You're on my side. He's a good friend of mine. So, but no, Tommy, welcome. Thank you for watching us. Look, but Mr. So, and you specifically, you and the central right, in Crown, we call them Kaifo. You're welcome.
Yeah, you ready to get to that? Are you serious?
Welcome. Yeah, you are now. A few months ago, when I bring this subject up, you and Mr. Central Right will beat me on the head with these. How can you make these kinds of ridiculous statements? But anyhow, that's the past. Mr. So, most politicians, when they're going to these political gatherings and things, and when they're asked to make statements, sometimes they carry two notes. If the real note that they're going to talk about is there, but in case they get there and they what they envision in writing the first note. If it's not the case, they pick up the second note to tailor their comment around what the gathering. Comey has not done that here, to be honest with you. Comey has not done that here. Comey, and on a very serious note, why will you go into the collaborating political party stuff that is no longer feasible anyway, but expecting Ambassador Baka to go second to anybody who has, this is the same man, Ambassador Baka, that is, served twice on a Madam Sali. And we're just going to throw everything on the table here tonight. Based on his age, and I'm not talking about death because I am not God. As far as I'm concerned, that Ambassador Baka might outlive many of us. So I'm not even concerned about that. But the point here is this. I am getting older myself. And I'm not as old as he is, but I'm getting there. And Mr. So, sometimes age catch up with you. And when you get up in the morning, even your fingernails hurt. So this position, this presidency, as far as I'm concerned, it physically demands a lot from a person who's occupying that position. And if you're lazy, we have issues. And Ambassador Baka is not a lazy person, but I'm not too sure if his physical ability will allow him to perform to the highest level.
Absolutely not.
And as a result of that, we here in Samson Tour were pushing the 66-year-old man. Go on a knee, Ambassador Baka.
So, your line was being very disrespectful.
Mr. So, you forget about being. I've always been respectful to Cummings. There's no way that I'll be disrespectful to Cummings because I believe in his leadership. Because I know he has a capacity to lead. My point, and the point I'm still making, is Cummings is not well connected with the Liberian people. People in Liberia have not seen his ability to lead. Many people in Liberia don't go and read about Cummings. What they know about Cummings, what other people say about Cummings. Some of us has gone through and read and watched his video and being praised with company that he's worked for. Okay. And these are not companies that are coming from Maryland County. This is not a company that he was working on in where he has an uncle or some sort of a relative pushing him. He got the position strictly based on merit, based on his ability to lead, based on his ability to comprehend, based on his ability to make things happen. And because of that, they took this man from Liberia and put him at the top. So we know that he has the leadership ability. But many Liberians do not know that. So the comment, the encouraging thing that I had at the time, go on a knee, Honorable Baka. Honorable Baka, within 2 years' time, Liberian will be considering you as the real president. He won't do that. His people will not do that. Mr. So, and so this is what we had. The only good thing here, what I see as far as I'm concerned, solace for my grieving and whatever you want to call it, is that Kumi is preparing himself. If this 2023 part, forget it, in total already. But Kumi is most likely position that talk he told the other day. I'm gonna do it one more time, one time. That's it. Kumi will be by. We'll bring him by. We'll bring him by. Kumi will come by. But this time around, that Jeremiah Kumi will go with Kumi toe to toe, or the Vice President J.R. Howard will go to Kumi toe to toe. Nobody will touch him at that time, and he will be unanimously the elected in Liberia. The entire population will be Kumi all day long. But for now, the opportunity as I see it, and this is from the liberal, I'm entitled to my view. The opportunity as I see it, far spent and far gone. Let's just forget it and let's prepare ourselves for the next election season.
Where you get that theory from? And I can tell you, this thing is very tiring and very exhausting. And And that's what I said. There were a lot of things that he used that kind of closed the gap. And that's not what politician wants to do. Politicians, you are non-definitive with your answers. There are some answers you just have to pivot. And that what makes you a smart guy. You don't mind what people are going to say. Yes, because you do not want your words to be used against you. And I'm not sure the folks that he brought around, how helpful they were to him in his process, in getting his agenda. Of course, to his achievement in the corporate world to get to that top. What happens, seditions, opponent, and other people reconstructed that. Because I listened to, I think, Major Koji, even the president, if you listen to some Unity Party folks and all of that, they said Coca-Cola. The man one gave out, how they call it, what did they need again? Trash. They reconstructed, they tried to redefine his lifetime career. And unfortunately, his supporter, his surrogate, and some of those who profess to be the talking head to these people, they could not draw that fine line to create that gap, to say, no, this is this guy, who is this guy? Instead, they were being very combative.
Mm-hmm. Fighting
persuasive method. Instead of using persuasive method, that wasn't happening. The people, not just only the ANC, very, very United Party, it becomes like people should not question their decision. People should not question their opinion, their analysis. Now, you don't know who is taking cue when you're having this sort of conversation. Remember here the other day when we hosted Dr. Clarence Momolu, I think one or two gentlemen who instantly twist and change their position. That is based on their appealing tone. If I decide to support person here, I'm not going to be, the way you talk, that's not how I'm going to talk. Go on. No, it's not a conciliatory tone. It's not a peacemaking tone. Yes, I will give justification why even this person here, and then I will come and make my own contract.
So are you now suggesting, because I said go second to
that's why they were not waiting? Anyway, for you, because you are Boycott supporter, so you are doing everything possible that you can to muddy the water, and that's exactly what you did. And so you think right now is and when this whole thing started, let me just remind you, because the age is also catching up with you. When this whole CPP document came, I came out here and you say, that's not my business, right? Tell you more from our business. You're not in our party. You're not do this. Stay out of it.
Why do we have to rehash a conversation?
No, this is where all of this slips came
from. Let's forget the conversation. Let's move on to we're here now.
No, that's what a history. We need to also enlighten people so that next time they will know. But that document itself was divisive. The coup adopted the style of the CDC. Out of 4 groups came together. The coup have done something like a confederation type. Only 2 voiced out that we want to be. Why there was no big ball in the room? Since it was narrowed down to 2, not 4 out of 3, then it becomes difficult.
You know, Mr. So,
can I end my point, please?
Go ahead.
Why you here you were preaching, why you didn't call on the big guy, your big guy, who is the other guy in the room, to have created a consultative meeting and do it like the CDC. CDC made her position clear-cut when they were doing their coalition. We won the presidency. The other party, perhaps with a much number, you take the vice president, the other one take this, and go inside.
But yes, what you need to understand. And I don't know Cumming that well. I met him only once when he was here in Sacramento, and I met him publicly. I never met with him one-on-one. So there's nothing to say that I know him. But yes, what people need to understand. People like Cummings or any of those people in the corporate world who have made it to the top, they are people consider them go-getter. they get things done. And the way they get things done, they influence other people to get things done under their leadership. There are those who are suggesting. Can you hear me, Mr. Soul?
Loud and clear.
So what's going on with my stuff? Okay.
I'm
It
hearing
seems
you.
started. The thing started yesterday. Look, hold on 1 minute, Mr. Soul. Hold on 1 minute. My TV is still going black. And look, let me tell you people, anybody that they are hearing on my TV here tonight, the things start going up and down. Anybody, you see the cartel I get here? Anybody, you call here because I was talking about Kumi right now, and my TV start flicking. Anybody put your hand on my TV, the cartel will talk to you. I'm not playing with y'all. The cartel from way deep inside to town. The cartel, they're not small cartel. So let me just get it together.
Start wasting our time, please?
Mr. So I'm just making my point. So the thing here is what people seem to forget is this. You remember?
Can you elevate your mirror or your? Oh, okay, good. There you go.
You remember Dick Cheney and George Bush. George Bush, having had a nomination, asked Dick Cheney to lead a committee to search for vice president. And who ended up being the vice president? Dick Cheney. So, Mr. So, you don't go into these kinds of things. It's not the matter of Dick Cheney was begging, but most of the quality that perhaps George Bush was looking for. Dick Cheney checked those qualities for himself. He said, I have that, and presented it. Why is it that a 66-year-old man will want somebody who is almost 80 to be honoring him for what? Let's forget about the quick business. In our tradition, when you sit down in a room, and old people get in there, you get out of the chair for the people to sit down. That's our tradition. When you're in a room with the old people, you only talk when you're recognized. That's our tradition. So you cannot divorce this tradition out of this Liberian politics, Mr. So. So I'm saying to many of those people that are arguing why Joseph Michael didn't beg or if you want Kumi to beg, no. But this would have been the perfect time for Kumi to actually show that he does have the leadership ability. It's still not late, but for me, I think the barn for this ship, the train is already leaving the station, and it's very sad. Liberia would have been much better having Alexander B. Cummings as the vice president. In 2 years, he would have been de facto president of the Republic of Liberia. Most policy decision would have been coming from the vice president office. But now, I can't say.
You can say, let's welcome my senior analyst, Jones Otovius Mallet, Senior, based in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. Undecided analyst. His tone, his language, sometimes it's very hard to determine. Okay, Mr. Mallet, good evening, welcome.
Oh, thank you guys. Hi to all.
Okay, so running out of options. It's still unclear, but anything could possibly happen. But as far as we are concerned, sources close to the decision-making process, it's still dicey. It is unclear, and there could be a political consequences going to convention. Traditionally, conventions is where you lift hands, and in lifting someone's hand, there are other things that you look at because you want this person to be a help. We're saying, let's go to Unity Party here. And I think that was a strategy on the part of Open Ambassador Boyka. The strength, running his energy is diminished. We can put it that way, considering his age. And anybody reach that age, certainly it does. But you're saying what his name, Jeremiah Kuna is being showcased networks. He's not doing the talking, moving here and there. You are public relations as expert. Let's do a little bit type profiling here. Is it the Cummings or folks who around Cummings? Because there are multiple things that we are hearing. There was a special committee constituted to do the vetting. We're not hearing. We are being told it is yet to be verified. But there was a senior officer, to their dismay, they didn't come up with anything specific. They ran out of time, and he, Cummings himself, have to jump into this. And one could easily believe, seeing what we're seeing happening by this time. We can't guess anybody new. Every eggs were put onto Nyomli Kanga Lawrence. All of a sudden, the name disappear. What is still there is unclear. But what could be the political consequences if ANC, CPP, they met today, Liberty Party men on the other side, they are meeting tomorrow as a group of ANC, LP, CPP. If they get out of that conference hall tomorrow without the standard barrier to call the name of his running mate, what does that mean?
Well, I think there are mixed signal on the ground already from other unconfirmed sources. I've been told that there is a stage convention that coming on tomorrow, and the objective of the convention is to reconfirm Alexander B. Cummings, and to also confirm those who running for Senate and the House of Representatives. So the issue of the number two, I understand it's not part and parcel of this convention. This is an unconfirmed source that was giving me some information from Liberia.
Because there's a vacuum.
No. Also part of this ANC thing. And so they were just sharing their own misgivings about this convention thing. But I want to believe Kumi being who he is. Kumi is not defined by his length of experience, his managerial skills, his also had experience and other things. So the issue of convention would not be strange to me, because it's like he tried to be steady. He wants to be constant. And that is whatsoever he's engaged in is representative of who he is. So this is the take I got from Liberia today. So my question was, because the whole Liberia is on edge, thinking say tomorrow convention will produce a number two person of the ANC. But on the contrary, this is the information I got. You see? So I don't even know what is really going on right now. Okay, the issue of this consultative talking going on is true. It's very true. But then the question now, at this time, you still having no kind of discussion that they should be finalized at a convention that is set to take off tomorrow in Nimba County.
Look, I have a different versions, and these are our opinions based on things that we have seen, we have witnessed. Yeah. There is a greater and big disadvantage on the path if they walk out of that convention tomorrow without changing the narrative, without changing the game. No. Bear in mind, ANC, CPP, in order to be viable, to be competitive in this year, they have to put a fight with their own opponent. Forget about CDC, George Weah. They are the incumbent. But you have to create that competition with your own opponent, in that voters will start seeing your other side of you. Now, two, in real time, in public relations, you also want to get yourself in the media cycle. You don't want your opponent, your main opponent, to dominate the media cycle.
Yes.
Jeremiah Kuhn right now is like a surveyor, surveying every media outlet, getting the reinforcing to the message of Ambassador Joseph Boyka, at the same time establishing his identity, his political identity, giving him the opportunities. Some of the things that have been said about him, whether it's true or not, he's providing more explanations. You do not want that to be kept in the media for a long time when you yourself is also targeting what that person is vying toward. You also need to, because there are a lot of things involved in bringing the vice presidential candidate. You want to make sure of the vote. These are plans that are being in place long time. So there can be, it could be a consequences. If it works out there, why they try to be calculative and they try to be politically correct? Initially, we heard the tech team was basically publicized without them being definitive, fair to say. But when you start making the pronouncement, the tech team will be making a convention.
Yeah.
We'll do a reflection of where we are in this modern society, what happens at a convention. You want to steal the show. You want to capture the imaginations of the media. You want yourself, you want your name to be out there. Let people talk about you. Let people see a different version of you. We don't know. Anything could happen. But from what we know, and we are just saying this because at the end of the day, it's all about Liberia. These are free consultations or whatever we are going in.
Okay.
Darling is there. What is she? What's this? What is it? How come this whole can will kick down the road? We saw the momentum of Nyombi Kangalorin. Let me go to his brother something to here. The liberal.
Yes.
And as far as you are concerned, you and to be quite correct, you are saying it repeatedly. They don't know you. You don't know them. They didn't know you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So why this whole Nyombi Kanga name surface and all of a sudden it vanished?
I'm not too sure, Mr. So, but this is what I believe.
Could we see a surprise out of the sudden coming as a game changer?
Well, but what I've been reading on social media and other print media and stuff is that the late Councillor Bronskin's daughter, Councillor Charlene Bronskin, is being considered heavily as far as the media, social media, and the print media is concerned. But as far with respect to Senator Lawrence, I think I was on here at one time flip-flopping as usual. One moment I said X, another moment I'm saying Y. At first, I wanted her, if she was approached by Comey, I wanted her to take that because I was a little bit disappointed, frustrated, like the correct word, in that Ambassador Barker did not pick up. But then I thought to myself, that perhaps would be vindictive. And the vindictiveness is not what is need to be brought to bear in these type of situations. And so I thought to myself, let me then rephrase it or reconsider. So I said on your show, as usual, I said that she needed to go back and be
Why you always like to bring this date on the program?
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is the program of intellectual engagement. And as an intellectual, you are not stuck with one position. You're a free thinker, a true free thinker like me. Your position evolve from one point to another based on the circumstances that is surrounding the issues. You cannot tie yourself.
I
I'm a
hear you,
liberal.
Johnson nephew.
You can't tie me down on one one particular position and say this is it. No, we don't do that. You conservatives that will do that, and the northern liberals, which I think one of these days, my brother Dualo, I might have to somehow feel that he's one of the northern liberals, but I'm not there yet. I'm researching more and more. But let me just say this, Mr. So the issue was, I said to myself, she needed to go back, even if the way she was treated, I was not happy. But I thought, as a political leader of a political party, you do not put your self-interest above the political party and the people you're serving. So by her going back and staying with Ambassador Barker until the end, it will demonstrate to many of us, I know who she is already, but to many Liberians, that this lady does not put herself above the interest of Liberians. And surely she's also a young lady. The next round, there's definitely the next election. This coming 2023 election is people are jogging for position. The true leaders, the future young leaders of Liberia are jogging for position. And the next election is going to be very interesting. And I thought by her staying with Ambassador Barker will give her a good footing in terms of the next general presidential election in Liberia. Now, Mr. So, and I think I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe she most likely was feeling the same and then decided not to even entertain, so to speak, any kinds of engagement with Comey and what have you. So I think the issue with her not being strongly considered by Comey has to do with her previous position, which perhaps she has made it clear to many of the people around her that it is not good to abandon your position, initial position in these kinds of settings.
Okay, as you know, we also like to engage our onliners, some who don't like calling, but that's their way of communicating. I'm going to put this tweet out here from Dualot and Malit, who want to say, this is what Dualot is tweeting out. I believe strongly that Comey has done the job of choosing his running mate. Tomorrow he shall have the opportunity to reveal this person. I do not know why the VP positions has suddenly become the issue of debate. It is because of the ages of the two men contestants in the oppositions. Views, opinions expressed yet does not in any way represent the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio, but we accommodate these intellectual, sound analysis, note, insult, nothing. Thank you so much, Dualo. Let me bring you into this fry here at Jones. When we're talking to that, commentator Dualo is writing other versions of it. You have the opportunity. I'm coming. You're going to have the opportunity. So it means the stage is set. All eyes. This is what people want to hear. People who for, people who against. They want to see the kind of level, the volume, the sort of capacity they're going to create into the talking point or shift the political conversation. He's saying it's an opportunity. What happened if that opportunity is not revealed tomorrow? Is he holding on something tight that you and I and some of his supporters? Is that a strategy? Usually when it comes to this thing, media and other institutions begins to get the heads up of certain name. Because the essence of that tool is to edify the conversations where it's going to be taking place. Do you think he's holding this thing to his chest to the extent that some of his confidants don't know, or they feel insider and he just want to bump it out there? What strategy?
Well, I would like to say no. No, in the sense that Comey, he seems to be a very open politician. He seems to be a very transparent and open-minded folk who will always express his feeling. And if you talk about convention, and if the ANC is talking about going to convention, that's a clear indication that that political party is open to some level. Because the question now is, Kumi has been the standard bearer. Is he going to be reconfirmed, or they're going to confirm other people? But my take here is that,
not to cut you off, his party today confirmed that. So I'm not sure whether they're going to do another confirmation with the CPP, but ANC did that today.
okay, good. Then he want to be steady. He want to stand by the democratic tenets. But here is the issue. If Kumi being who he is, then he has to give the authorization to the convention to decide who going to be the vice president, rather than he doing a handpick behind closed door. He's not the type of person I expect to be. So if the convention is coming and he's already confirmed, and this convention in quote is a CPP convention, then every single member that has the right to vote someone, to recommend someone, or to nominate someone to be a vice president. I expect that to happen tomorrow. Yes. So in other words, I disagree with Adwalo's statement. I mean, he tells that he have done it already. Kumi, he's not one of the normal traditional Liberian politicians. This guy, his characteristics is deeply submerged into the Western culture. So everything of his is open. So the vice president said the nomination should come tomorrow. By my own expectation, several other people to be nominated and voted tomorrow. But if we have seen that he has already done that, is question announcing, then what's the need of the convention? What's the purpose?
Western culture.
Yes.
That's a combination of something that is here and there, two different things. Let me bring, hold on to liberal. Is that causing the harm with ANC and the exotic comments, the Western culture politics being inserted into our own hometown politics? They are two different things. Is that what creating some injury here?
I think, first of all, let me disabuse Frederick here very quickly. Mr. So is not at the convention. If anything,
why you always like to make faults with people? You can talk for me. What's
no, but I'm just wondering.
Not your business.
ANC will not look at you to come even to invite you to their convention. So let him. I want you to know that. We the ANC people, we don't want you in the convention. But let me go on. Mr. So, look. This whole thing, and Mali is quite correct. And because of that character being immersed into the Western culture, Kumi is finding it difficult to have a true footing in the Liberian politics. Kumi is being sincere. Kumi is being trustworthy. Liberian politicians are crooks. And so when Kumi is coming into this kinds of setting, where many people will just do business with you because of what you have, not necessarily what they want to contribute, then these things are very difficult. And Kumi insisting that everything he does, specifically in politics, that people must be informed. Just take, for example, this committee that you keep making reference to tonight. The committee was set up some time ago. Why is it up to this point that we don't have any information from that committee? Because they like to do things secretly. Because they want to work secret, and Kumi is now on board with that. And as long as they're working secret and Kumi is now on board, they can't come up with a conclusion to bring these things to public. And this is why Kumi going to, if he doesn't win this year, if he wants to try the next time, as I'm predicting, Kumi will either succumb to these people's behavior or bring people on board immediately after the election. Pick certain people from among this group that you have now that perhaps are not quite on your side, but they are very closed. And by coming somebody that I believe can read people and be able to ascertain who this person will be and what have you. So bring those kinds of people on board with you. So by the time you read it again next time, that they will all be on the same page. I don't believe, and this is my opinion, I could be wrong, but people like McIntosh, Dr. McIntosh, the likes of Louis Brown and Comey, politically, they are now on the same page. Because the way Comey operates, the way I see it, this is not how these people
I don't
operate.
know how you got to that conclusion to say
What,
that.
Mr. So we're looking at things right now that these people are operating. And up to this time, they are not, because they are not on the same page, and that's why we're not getting these kinds of information. Why can't I make that conclusion?
That's a total analysis.
Well, whatever.
Those people
it's my view. I'm entitled to it. You see, this is why I said this young man should not have put your name out there, what he wrote, and now he has gone through your hair. Now you think you're the most political gurus on the show now. My view no longer count. My views are all total view now, because the man think that you're supposed to be the running mate now. You think you're all guru. That's what I was saying.
Your views has a political tone because you are opponent to him, but you need to give as an analyst, if you're on your show, that's the thing. But when you come here, you got to be objective. One, these people were hired by Cummings, and for you to come here and suggest they are not.
Mr. So, on a very serious note, why would I want to deviate from that kinds of view? Number one, just give me a minute. Number one, Cummings brought these people on board, and these people were supposed to be geniuses in terms of politics in Liberia. These people are supposed to help Cummings move the ball forward. Where are we? Up to this point, the selection process of vice president has not been nailed down, Mr. So. Then you think they're on the same page? Why is it that up to this time, they're going to convention tomorrow, and the vice president's selection, it has not been nailed down? People, names are still being thrown out there. That indicates to me that these people are not on the same page. And the fact that I believe Cummings is an open person, and that's why he got burned on the CPP issue. Cummings is a trustworthy person, and that's why he got burned on the CPP issue. If Cummings, now, here's the interesting thing I want to throw out there for you to think about. If Cummings has gotten in touch with people that get you with McIntosh, get you with, and Louis Brown, when Cummings started with involving himself with the CPP, Cummings would not have gotten burned, because people like Louis Brown understood exactly the way, the bite biting in Liberian politics, and he would have warned Cummings, and he would have guided Cummings, and Cummings would not have stepped into that hellhole that you call CPP, Mr. So. I say so.
Well, you say so. I didn't say so. Let me come to John. Jones, you listen to what this guy is saying here, but let me just bring you. How difficult, what position, what do you think running through his hair right now, Mr. Cummings? And the hierarchy of the ANC, are they sleeping? Now, there are two conventions, one separate ones. ANC has their one somewhere else, Liberty Party, and tomorrow they're going to be meeting. My guess, there must be some sort of inside executive conversation ongoing this night. They're not sleeping. Nobody, you can't sleep. No sleep going to come in your eyes. Mosquito will be there, even if you get whatever spray, but no natural sleep going to come in your eye. My guess, they are having a conversation to get to seal this thing up and throw it out there.
Okay. I think I want to lean a little bit on the liberal side.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. At least for once. You got to know the character we're talking about. Cummings has divorced himself from so many so-called traditional way of doing Liberian politics in Liberia. I just want you to know that. Cummings is even telling you
example of that.
I'm coming now. He's only telling you some practical thing that he will do when he becomes president. And I saw one of those clips on Mr. Sampson's show last night. If I'm sending you, if anybody is corrupting my government and I grab you and your entity come and say, oh, please, you know, this our boy and he helped to bring you to power, Kumi said you will have to go to jail through the court. You see, that's a different type of politician right there. I just want you to know this. And the next thing I want all to note of here is that Kumi is aware that if he doesn't go to convention and the people nominate several vice president and one is picked, Kumi is aware that he will be under attack based on his own presentation and who he is. He will surely be under attack. He's aware of that. So if there are a lot of consultation, yes, that's part of it. You see, Ambassador Boakai, he handpicked this guy. All right? There's no merger of his party. I never heard that. There was no memorandum, there was no convention. Those are the traditional things we're talking about. And Kumi tried to divorce himself from all those type of things. Kumi want to have a vice president that will be decided by the people rather than by him. That's the kind of person I see him to be. And that's where the liberal is coming from. You see? So, in fact, I read a new down newspaper today. They have 4 shortlisted candidates in that newspaper. Whether they are the people they're going to nominate tomorrow convention, I don't know. They have Finlay Besonga from Bassa, a former senator. They have one Senator Franklin Siako. They have Lima Bowie. Then they have one Madame Sarah Yanti Bellows.
That's a career diplomat.
Very good. They have the 4 people listed. Conspicuously absent from that list is the most talk about Yomli Kanga.
Yeah, because
I don't know why, but anyway. So I expect Kumi to go to convention and let the people nominate a VP.
He does have an
and he going behind closed door, picking a VP. Someone will attack Kumi from who he is and where he comes.
But he does have a greater share in that. Beslow is a career diplomat. Here is the thing. Here is the issue with the Liberian voters, predominantly. This sort of brand name types of politics is so much, it holds a huge gravity in the country, very influencing in decision making. Now, they are not thinking, it's not just about electing somebody here today. Liberia cannot sustain herself. Liberia cannot be a country of an island to say you're going to do it. So first of all, and that's where I was watching some sort of documentary about this country here, some of the things involved, some of the factors they consider in making a vice presidential pick.
But
that lady, you know that lady name?
I have a question for you.
Why am I coming? That coming was all to be asking a question. Why you want?
No.
Somebody said you're already at the convention. You're the second. You're the new pick now. So I think we have to ask you.
Actually more stuff not going to be a talking point there.
Listen, moderator, I have a question for you. Maybe you can clarify that for me.
Okay, let's see.
Yes.
Let me hold on. So I'll bring in somebody who will answer that question again. Now you will see from. There you go.
Okay. I have a question for you. The question I have for you is that
they ain't dropping camera first.
Go ahead.
Okay. The question I ask for you is that do you think it's necessary for Kumi to go to convention and the convention decide on a vice president? Or do you believe that Kumi should just pick someone and have them announce?
There are two questions. What I'm saying, when it comes to a vice presidential pick, principle number 1 is 75% in decision making to decide. It doesn't matter how many persons being put forward, because once you want to trust, it can be announced at the convention. It has to be done to the convention, so it has to give you a good layout, good presentation. I mean, that's how it's not necessarily false. But what I'm saying here is he does have a shared responsibility, considering those names that you just read out today. If the committee even put them out, what happens at the end of the day when he becomes the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, where consequential decisions going to be made, where when they say there's something happening between neighboring countries that the president needs to speak to the nation, you need to confide into someone who you can exact tax. So he, at the end of the day, he will become an influential. This is not because you have a committee, the committee going to throw somebody on the principle number one. No. Amos George, good evening. Welcome.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Mali,
Before Pa George,
Papa, we're not hearing you.
yeah, before Pa George come in, I brought in this question for two reasons. One, you just strike a very important point where Kumi will have to be influential in this thing. There are possibility Kumi could have his candidate among these people or even outside this group. He can also run his campaign behind closed door and they go to a convention. And he also run campaign for his candidate to be won. But what I think where Kumi is coming from is that Kumi want for the convention to have an impact or to have an influence on who become the next vice president or who become his vice president. I think that's where Kumi is coming from.
Bottom line, at the end of the day, he is the guy that going to make that proclamation, announce that. Let's bring in the ANC Daha and let's hear what's happening maybe from Nima to Banga, Bon County that he can walk by line and go. Amos George, good evening, welcome. Oh, yeah.
I think the county is working, yo.
The liberal progressive sounds in a hell of a bit. So I'm gonna be. I did not get the point you're trying to make. I don't know which point. What did I? So I'm gonna no, not you. I'm gonna be putting the number out here too. So some of our onliners, those who want to, you can be an ANC, you can be a free thinker, you can be whoever who loves his or her country to also make your own point here. So let me put a number here. Let's engage our onliners. This is the number to participate, 682-433-8802. Call and express what you think are going to happen at the end of tomorrow, the end of the day. So let's go here. So like you rightfully said, Mr. Mali, it is, I mean, he got to do his push because it's going to come out, it comes out from him to say, this is the guy, this is the person. But the lady there, that need being in the cycle. You remember a couple of months ago, it came out because what people tries to do too, but it's kind of a seesaw. Okay, you have this lady here. Vera would be a good person. She's heavily involved within the diplomatic world. Recognitions, help if elected. They need a credible government that people will be donors can be able to come in. That's a aspect. But what happens to the voters who are going to be directly, who are going to be the principal decider? Do they know this person? You know, I will put together a tendency, where you been here? Everybody will die there together. So let's go to Minneapolis, Minnesota, 612-3168. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the show. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Are you there? Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. Anytime Samson told when he gets some people number, things happen. Okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah, you getting me now?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. So in my mind, from Mr. Cummins, I think Mr. Cummins is struggling to find his running mate, but again, if the problem I think I see is with Ellen. I think Ellen is the one behind everything. But one of the problems that I found with Mr. Cummins is his inability for his message to resonate with the Liberian people. And the reason for that is simply because Mr. Cummins do not show the culture of the people. I've never heard Mr. Cummings speaking dialect. I've never heard him speaking his dialect to the people. And he always in America, they're having this big rallies, flashing it on Facebook and all of that. And Liberian people see it to be too much for them. Liberian people want a man that will come down to the level of the people, mingle with them, interact with them. Like the pictures, I saw pictures of them in Nima County. I don't see no GB. I see different. So you see, your lifestyle have to resonate with your message for the people to receive you. The reason why the people gravitate into Congo, they gravitate into Joseph Boka, is because these people don't leave the country easily. The people there with them, they speak their language, they're going through the suffering together and all of that. Mr. Cummings, no, he exempt himself. And one of the errors he's going to make, if he pick, whether people can say whatever they want to say, the Congo native thing that they're acting like you say, it does not have an impact in our society, it does. If Mr. Cummings go and pick maybe Charlene Bronsky, it will not look good for him politically because people already attaching him to the Congo narrative and then picking Charlene Bronsky. You know, you can make it in a society like that. Yeah, you are saying something.
Yeah, I don't know, but you can best defend that. So are you saying Shalom Bronsky is what? It will not resonate with voters?
I'm saying Charlene Bronsky would be a good candidate for the ANC, but not for the Liberian people. She would be a good running mate to Mr. Cummings. It will suit the atmosphere for the ANC. They would think that they have a running mate, but she would not be a formidable running mate that Mr. Cummings would depend on to help him win this election or even come full place. I believe in my mind, picking Charlene Bronsky would drop Mr. Cummings greatly. Mr. Cummings needs somebody as a running mate that resonates with the Liberian people culture, with their language, and have the orientation. Once he missed Yomli, that Yomli will have resuscitated his whole entire political movement in Liberia. Missing Yomli is a huge blow for him. Now he needs to look for somebody that resonates with the Liberian people who have the culture.
Okay, as a Liberians, and let's see, I don't know whether you had a political pick before I go to my analyst. As a Liberians, and in the interest of Liberianization policy and for good country, good governance, besides Charlene, who do you have in mind that you think if coming pivots in that direction will resonate with the voters or the Liberian people?
Right now, I can only see Yomli. Yomli will be a perfect candidate for Mr. Cummings. Once he picks Yomli, it will go deep down. He will become a contender to Joseph Boka. Because in my mind, George Weah have already exposed himself. If you listen to Mr. Weah today speaking, it shows you that he's down. He noticed that he have lost something. All right. So the contention have been built up between Mr. Cummings and Boka. Okay, so he needs that perfect running mate to be able to seal the deal and contend with Boka. Once he don't pick that person, which I believe is Yomli, then I think, or maybe he could go for Gongro Wule. How you call her? Or that lady? Edith Gongro Wule. Maybe that may also add spices. But he needs somebody to resuscitate him. And I do not think Charlene Bronsky is the right one at this moment.
All right. Thank you so much. Views expressed on this network are views of callers and listeners. There's no way it's the views of the management and staff. Amos George.
Yeah.
Working, branding within the conventions. We are all more in the early morning hours of the conventions. And Battleground, Nima County. Okay, 276. Please lawyer caller, hold on, West. Let me bring in a guy yet. You listen to Terry, and you were all moving left and forth, spinning. Caller, please lower your monitor. Or you want the caller to go ahead and I'll bring you in before?
Yeah, the caller can go ahead.
Okay. 270. Are you there? Can you please?
But you got to lower the monitor.
We are getting the echo. Caller, are you there? Okay, get into a quiet place and let us know. I mean, we can't treat other folks that are listening like that. Amos Joy, go ahead.
This is why I always say, and when I say liberal try to beat on me. So if you don't speak any language in Liberia, and you're a Liberian, so you cannot be president. This is the only tune I have always spoken about and continue to speak about it. The divide in Liberia, Native Congo still exists. Why was someone come say because you don't speak our language, so therefore you cannot relate to the people? Is that a criteria? I got my 2 daughters here. They don't speak Pele. So if they go back to Liberia and live there, so they can't get no position because they can't speak Pele. Samson got his son here. If his son go to Grandia, say I'm from Grandia, they will say no, because you can't speak Crown. Is that something we say pushing? The late Councillor Bronskin, listen to this, listen to his story. You are not rich, but the thing is, by the time you become rich or educated, they say you are Congo. And this thing has to stop. Yes, the last someone just trying right here tonight again. Now, hey, this person can't do it because they don't speak the language. This person because they are not laid for the people. Is that the term? Is that a yardstick to get a president? If that is saying yardstick you're used for George Weah, who stay with the people all through, or today you're complaining about him? So is that something that you would take the measure to say if you don't meet the criteria, you cannot be president? Or you cannot be president? Yeah.
Is it a factor in the politics of Liberia?
It is a factor. That's what I'm trying to. And every time when I speak about the tribal thing, people try to downplay it. There is the current undercurrent in Liberia. They buck up the native people feel that these Congo people use us. So anybody that got any attachment to Congo will not rule this country again. And people don't let us speak, but that's the reality. You just saw one of your viewers echoing the same thing. Okay? Because I don't speak. If I don't speak Pele, that doesn't make me a Pele man. I'm a Pele man. But it is an environment which maybe I was born in or grew up in. So you will use that against me. And this is why some people are not taking the use against Mr. Cummings and other Liberians, which is just dangerous for the country. Dangerous for the country. We have to call this thing out. It's not necessary. We're not built the country. You know how many people, children in this country, are born in this country, Liberians, that they can't speak one of the languages from either of the parents. And when people go back to Liberia, you're so old. This man not from here because he can't speak the language. Or this lady is not from here because she can't speak the language. It is a terrible thing that, again, we're building on, and we have to start speaking against these things, because if we don't take time, it will come back in to bite us. That is our children. They will go, they say, no, you're not from here because you don't speak the language. There are people in Morovia who are born in Morovia, someone they can't speak Loma Pele, or Bassa, or Crown, right in Morovia. Will you tell the people that they are not, when they go back to their home, or parents, when you say they are not from that ethnic group, simply because they can't speak it? This is wrong. We have to stop it. But let me say this. Mr. Comey, I will follow you people. Mr. Comey is one person who believes in consultation. He does not believe just taking unilateral decision. He consults people around him, asks anybody that close to Cummings. He asks people for their view. He gave people tax. He selected a view before he makes a final decision. He does not do things in isolation. He's not that kind of person. So if anybody Mr. Comey pick will be, he will have consulted and obtained recommendation from the committee. And maybe he will say, okay, one or two, I will prefer this person. But he will not make any decision in isolation. Let me just make that point clear. And that I can put my neck on the chopping board for him. He consult people. He listens to people. He don't just take unilateral decision. When he makes a decision, his decision is final, but he consults people. He didn't just go or he know what the people say. He always solicited people's view before he makes the decision. So even with this pick, it will not be from somewhere that the people don't know. Those in his inner circle, no, they will know about it. That's one of the characteristics I can give to you or to people. Anybody that will be announced, the inner circle will be aware of it. They had an input in it. So let me just state for that for the record.
Okay, guys, let's take a quick commercial break and we will be right back. And gentlemen, give me your attention, please, with this developing news. Oh, yes, he's back. He's back. Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo, some call Hint, the Brom guy, some call Hint, the poor man lawyers. But he's seeking for the higher office of the land, the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. Friends of Tiawanse in the United States and other parts of the world will be hosting the major dinner banquet fundraiser this Saturday, May 13, 2023, in Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., New Jersey, and the list go on. Philadelphia is the place to be this weekend. To interact with the presidential hopeful, Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo. He is here. Liberia Public Radio will be there to grace the occasion. Tell the friends of Gonglo, it's LPR Tafonso Zienso gives you this message. Okay, that's it. Friends of Councillor Tiawanse Gonglo, a presidential hopeful. He will be having a major fundraiser dinner banquet. I saw the guest, the group. Friends of Gonglo, they were here yesterday, and the program will be tomorrow around this time. We're going to see what's going to be happening. So, Jones, let me just bring you in here. And I think it's challenging because it is hard to present yourself who you to present a false aspect of yourself, something that you do not use to, something that you have not been doing. Because when you try to do it, people mock at you, and I think this is where the conversations is looking like. President George Weah, there is a tone, there is a language that he speaks. Language, I'm talking about English, not local dialect or whatever, but a communication style that creates that connection. And most politicians, they are smart of doing that. So he goes certain places, he speaks certain English that is understood by the crowd. It's just like being a public speaker, you know your audience. He can easily do that and he will get away with it. You will not have comment to do that. And even when Boycott tries to do that, something that he has not done in the past, because people are going to trace your record. This is weird. This is unusual. Why? Is it because it's, people are going to establish, people are going to see that sort of, oh, this man a fake man, this man has this and that. That is part of the challenging. It is because they see you like you distant from them, distant in the sense that you are not a type of them. Is that part of what is happening that is playing out here? Because you see, when George Weah goes down to Nicrutan and other places, the way he would talk, whatever English, he will create a soundbite. The people say, you're like me because we are this group of people. So anybody who feels within that bite, they will also begin to win that sympathy. They're going to cross over immediately. Oh, okay. If that was not in the case, they can easily make an instant decision. Is all of these here, are we considering all of these things as a problem to the political process that is being played out?
Well, I think I would like to agree with panelist George the issue the caller just raised, and he just made some analysis on it. To me, it's a cancer in our social political system in Liberia. It's a really serious cancer. The Congo and native divide thing, it's still moving with different signal in Liberia. But here is my take. Kumi has come from a very different school of thoughts right now. And the rest of the politicians in Liberia, they have also come from a different school of thoughts. Okay? So here's my thing. George just said that Kumi he based on the consultative thing, and that's very true. He brought in the 34 members. He brought in the 34-member advisory board campaign member to work with him. I saw that in the newspaper once upon a time. But here is my question. Tomorrow is convention, and there are two parties going to the convention: CPP and Liberty Party. So my question here is this: Are they going to allow the convention to decide who's going to be the number 2 person to Kumi, where Kumi will also have a say in it? Because if you go to convention, has got its own objective. You are going there to do a nomination. Kumi can also nominate somebody. Is that the format that is coming tomorrow?
No.
Okay. Or Kumi is just going to pick someone based on consultation and they present them to the body tomorrow?
There's a committee set up for that.
Good. But then if that is the case, then the objective of a convention will be defeated. Because the beauty of a convention is for people to exercise their democratic franchise to nominating and electing someone of their free will.
But you cannot do that for vice president. You can't do that for vice president.
This is not a one-party thing. This is a two-party thing right now. So if a committee is set up to pick somebody, then why are we going for convention?
Okay, Mary, maybe my memory is not serving me right. Can you name one convention where they want to name a vice president?
Yes. If your party going alone.
No, I'm just asking you.
Okay.
No. I said if your party going alone, if you're name a vice president, that two parties going to convention.
Hold on 1 second, guy. Let me pick up this call.
Two parties going to convention here. All the other parties that go alone, they can pick their VP based on consultation. But the two parties going to convention.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, go ahead.
LPR.
Yes.
All right. This is Tommy. So I'm calling from Monrovia, the typical Stephen Tower Estate.
Let's hear you.
I want to make my impact on the whole discussion you're talking. You know, in Liberia here, it's very hard for people to just come and make headlines. Coming may have all of the credentials, what we're talking about, to be a president. But like a Lebanese friend told me one night, he said the Lebanese people buy bag, they don't buy the rice. There was a time they had this better rice, everybody wanted better. So when they go to the store and they said no better, they will go. So the people decided to take all the rest and put it into the better rest. So when they carry home and what are that better, that's not better for the 35. But again, come miss the boat. There's no need to publish to polish and say all other things. Come miss the boat. A child can sit down, crawl before you walk. Even the tradition, like one of them made mention, you go up interior and the old person get up and they say sit down. I say no, you're sit down. Coming from America with all your American things, it doesn't work. And for those of you that are Joy saying, oh, you know, when your children, they don't speak that, you need to start telling your children to speak the dialect. The Nigerians, the Ghanaians, when they born their children in UK, America, they speak the dialect. But here, Liberia people here, they quit to be so-called Congo. Even the Kakula that began Kakula sing and Flomo now. And you need to have a foundation. It was going to be a better thing
for coming. If we wanted to kill this snake, and the snake was supposed to start from the hair, but the hair is in the hole, we go to the tail. So we want to move it back over Liberia. The ticket could have been public 7 and private sector, that is Boyka and coming. Because you see, in public sector, there are laws, there are handbooks. But in public government, sometimes 1 plus 1 can be 5. There are decisions you take. And somebody can imagine like a country having a problem, you have to take a decision. There's a crisis, you have to take a decision. It's not within the private sector. Coming went through the ring of Coca-Cola because I believe there was a dress by dress from one stage to another. But to be a leader is different. You see, Donald Trump became president of America. When they say, as a businessman, he would do this and blah, blah, blah. What happened to him? Business is different from politics. On the issue of the selecting of the vice president, it's the sole right of the presidential candidate. You will take somebody who you confide in. I don't think it's convention. No. Somebody who, because you know what? The position of a vice president, when you sit in the vice president office, you're looking straight to the president office. And that's why most of the time you see people go out look ahead. When you just bring somebody to you that you are not knowing what you have to trust and maybe you have the same thinking, you get it, you know what's going to happen to you. It happens all over. So the issue is he has a lot of people, qualified people within the party. Whatever said, they are not even making that decision. And you have Abba, Tuba, all the rest of the other guys who are so arrogant and, when they're ready to talk to people in that kind of way, okay, you are taking about Marilyn Johnson, she's the only one that's going around here trying to get bad running made for people. Or Musa Hassan Benete is right there. So the issue here in this country, whether you like it or not, in fact, when you kind of ask you where you come from, where you been all along? I remember they were having some election up in Grand. They knew that we're going to vote for the man that killed the cow. They're not even thinking about who qualified, but the person that killed the cow. And the name that they get here, you think, well, I'm going to put Letter George here as president. It's because they knew him. And people thought that because he was a football star, he could have made the difference. Right now, the only man in the country right now is Jeremiah Kuhn. Since he will pick by Baka, Jeremiah Kuhn make it a hell. So, coming in, if they want to be president, they will wait for the next 12 years to come.
So, but before you go,
but they show right now, Baka and Jeremiah Kuhn, they are the men in this country.
So let me ask you, Mr. So, before you go, what is the conversation in Monrovia? The capital. At the end of the day, anything happens outside of the capital, it comes back to Monrovia. What Monrovians? What are they saying? Is this gaining attractions? Are people focusing who you're going to pick, or they just going about their own?
Business? Kwame have become a failure already because there are a lot of things he decided to do. Young Bikanga came to the show, Henry Yala came to the show, or Charlie Broskin came to the show, and he going down. He keep going down. He's in a thinkable.
Oh, okay.
He keep going down. This may not sound too good in the ears of the supporter, but that's the fact. And after his whosoever is going to be, you will see what will happen. And put me on record for it. I'll tell you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Here we are. Another politics in Liberia is kind of a little bit different, though. It's different. You saw what happened in 2017.
You said no.
There was no argument. There was no conversation. The politicians, the Liberian people, or the voters, or the electors, whatever you call them, they felt that the politicians let them down, so decided to go to the only so options with the hope that some sort of restoration or divine intervention. And here we are. And apparently we did not learn a lesson. So more or less, it's all more identity politics, something that is happening. It's hard to cut through that corridor. And we cannot ignore that fight.
That's what I'm telling you.
Is that something that we are really because I don't know.
Someone went to Liberia 2017. They are left to go up this time. You say the person is not known. And then I wonder,
No, it's not just only the name. It's not just only the name. The name is a one aspect. Not no, even we all here, right? Even if you go in your own place, people say, "Oh, okay, this person calling back." 270 number. Please lower your volume, please. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you please lower? Can you please lower your monitor?
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Esther. Okay. Esther Johnson.
Okay, Madam Johnson. Good evening. Hello? Welcome. Let's hear from you. Do you have a monitor? You're listening to that?
Yeah, he got a monitor.
I'm Esther Johnson.
Yeah.
Lower the monitor.
Evening. Esther Johnson. You're listening to the program, right?
Hello.
I'm Esther Johnson.
Low. Can you please lower the monitor, your whatever you listen to?
Yes, I'm listening to the program.
Just lower.
I'm watching the program.
Okay.
I'm watching the program.
Yeah, okay. Lower the volume, cut the volume up because when you're talking, it comes back and then it bouncing. Just lower the one you have there, then you can talk. Go ahead. Let's hear from you.
All right. Okay.
Let's hear from you. Welcome. To the
Hello?
Show. Yeah. Go ahead. We're listening.
Okay. I've been watching this show. But this is, but what? I keep repeating.
Yeah, because you have, you're listening, you got to.
Why am I keep repeating?
Yeah, lower the volume of the one that you're listening to. Turn the volume.
What are you watching?
Madam Johnson. Madam Johnson.
Yeah, I turn it down. Enough.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, when you cut it, you just got to cut it off completely because other than that, it's very sensitive.
Okay, let me shut it down now because it's like I'm not going to talk.
Yeah, so shut it down. You want to see it, just shut it down and then I can call you right back. So you can make your point. Shut it down, we'll call you right back. Okay, go ahead. I will call her back. You are making a point.
Yeah, this is what someone went to Liberia, moved back from 2017. But you still say stranger. So I don't know the definition. If I went to Liberia and I stay in Liberia for 6 years, someone is still saying that the man just come in. I was born in Liberia. All my schools, from elementary school to college, I worked a few times there. I left the country, went back. You still seeing the man is a stranger. Then I wonder, what kind of country do we want?
Let me try Madam Johnson, hopefully.
Is that I want everybody to remain in Liberia? Is that a good person by staying there all the days of our life? So that whenever we run, you say the man is good? So the mindset of us is also helping to keep the country down. Because this notion is...
Yeah, hello? Okay, Pa George. Okay,
hello?
Yeah, go ahead now, we're hearing you. Much. Oh my goodness. All right, go ahead. Okay,
what?
Let me call him. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you now. Go ahead, man.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, the way our Liberian people are hurting our tribal people are the problem for Liberia. It is just too difficult. Why would this man say that Ellis coming every time he go to speak to his audience, he would make an illustration of a big bowl of rice. That this bowl of rice is big enough that everybody will put their hand in there. And he will even go ahead and name all the tribes in Liberia. Why our people don't want to give way so that people can develop our country? Where is this country, Congo divide? What? Look, Liberia, it is the tribal people that got the place backward. It's not the Congo people. The Congo people are no more in existence. The war that they fought, the tribal people that got the place backward. It's not the Congo people. The Congo people are no more in existence. The war that they fought. It was the tribal people that caused the problem. The people sat down, their fathers, their grandfathers, the Zoro, the devils, and everybody were there. And they looked at their children gravitating from the different villages, going towards the rebel hell area to join the rebel and kill their own people. So what is the love that the people got for their people? What is the love? Yeah. This is nonsense. Mr. Kwame is supposed to change our country. Look, Mr. Kwame is a very good man. I am talking, I'm a country woman. I'm not Congo. I will not say that all the checkpoints they have mounted all over Monrovia, who were killing people, who they were asking, you what tribe? And then Congo child were among the people, no Congo child were among them. It was the tribal people that were killing their own people. They don't see these things. This man wants to change our country. Why are they behaving like this? This is not right. It is not right. Coming down not trouble anyone in Liberia there. He is not he is not a man who boastful. He's a rich man, millionaire. I'm sorry, people, but this one touched me tonight. It touched me. I am sorry. I'm being so emotional because of the doings of our people. What the man said tonight was wrong. There's no reason why you should. Our country not moving an inch. It's not moving the most backward country in Africa or yet the world. Why can't I move the grape from off of Liberia? Let somebody else. Oh, man, Blacker, let me tell you today. When Mr. Cummings and Blacker, when they all went to do different talk shows to declare their intention to run for president, Mr. Blacker, I was watching OK show.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Blatter said nobody coming from outside will be president in Liberia. Mr. Blatter, I didn't say somebody told me. Thank you. That's why he said thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your input. We appreciate that. A little emotion to keep.
Yeah.
Everybody tries to take this side. Yeah, Pa George, go ahead. We are already.
Yeah. So, and these things we have to continue to tell our people. What other people do, yes, we can copy from them, but it doesn't mean that when we don't do it, that our children or I should be prosecuted for what because of that. I can respectfully disagree with somebody, but I will not start to define you on a tribal ethnic line. I think we should look at people who will try to make a change for the greater good of the society. Because I speak power. Supposing you give me power and I'm very weak with the power, what will happen? Maybe somebody will not speak power, but they are power, they might do something good. So we have to be very careful how we continue to push the narrative about people in America sitting down, their children don't speak their language, so therefore they will not be able to participate. And you can see, Mr. So, you can see how people expressing these things. This thing, it don't happen in vacuum. These, I think, I always say when the people go sit on the beer table, this is what they're discussing. So they will create a divide between the children and the other brothers and sisters. Just because you can't speak the, so they are not part of all. It's just wrong. When we are reached, I think I thought we would have been above that first. But again, when you see leaders in the communities throwing the giants out there, the people who behind them, they will fall. And it is sad.
Mr. So,
Let's get let me pick up what you say, Mr. Liberal.
no, go ahead, pick up the call. After that, I want to come in and say something.
Yeah, okay, let's go to 763 number 082. We almost 5 minutes to go. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Sam Ducler calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Good evening, welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I've been listening to other people and what have you, how people they are coming to be like that kind of American now expressing, now a typical Liberian. These are wrong perception. The only thing that's suffering Mr. Coming, he makes his base in America than in Liberia. That have been the real problem. And people on the ground, their way is supposed to first establish ANC branch before. But there is more people in Liberia, they are not benefiting from Mr. Comey, and those are in America, here and there, they are there running after against other opposition, which of course we all supposed to be.
But I think Cummins has some foundation in the country, right? School and stuff like that. This
that happened lately. The first foundation was established in America, but this is the reason why when it comes to America, Cummins get more support in America than in Liberia. Financially, he get more support than any other political party in Liberia. When it comes to America, he's the head of all. He got more people like him from that lifestyle to say, oh, the man is a Westerner, the man has been in America, he's been in a corporate world for a long time. So they see it as a true way. So that has really been Mr. Comey problem. And he just believed that people that behind him, he just believed that those people are in his favor, like Musability. Musability not in his favor. Musability just trying to protect his party. So it's hard to say, really, but he still has long to go.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you. Let's go to our own Mr. Jackson from the Liberal State. Mr. Jackson, good evening. Welcome.
Yes, good evening, Alfonso. I get a little bit provoked, with this, with the last comment, really. Especially where you were trying to give the soundbite that people are using Cummins is a Congo man. We are country people. The educated people, they stole our money. So people play on these soundbite. But I see that the media has not been able to do a good job for Mr. Cummins, honestly speaking, because if we decide to do a research, I'm not blaming the media per se, but ANC as a whole, they have a lot of educated people, but they are not being able to do a research. To come on, to make some comparison, why it's always good, to feature people that have experience, that have different background to lead. The reason is diversity, and bringing opportunity to other people to learn from. And I've said that Liberia, because of this shortcoming that we have, that, we are the one who fought the war, we stay here. And therefore, if you come in, you are a stranger. It's resonating among the people and nobody has been able to tell them. Let's take the Western world that we're talking about, the Japan, the Germany. You know how they came about? The Chinese that we're talking about.
Singapore.
They send their people out there. This idea to learn new policy so that when they go back, they were able to formulate a policy so they were able to gain from it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, if you come from here now and go, people say that you are a Congo man. Whether you are a grown man, you are a bastard man, you are a cool man, the fact that you are here and your children happen to go by, they are considered to be a Congo man. It means that you are not, you don't get time for the needs of the people. And we have not been able to tailor those things, to the people, why people travel to learn, so that they will go back, and help with policy. And nobody has been able to. I see people who live in this country for 10 years, and they live in, Cummings as a Congo man. When Cummings have gone over many times to tell them, say, look, my mother is this crippled, my father is this, so I had the opportunity to come here too, because my father was educated. It's not resonating to them. And nobody takes pride into it, because what happens is we raw bad behavior. If you can see and build a big mansion and build a big fence, then you are the best person. And that it resonates with most of the Liberians now.
Okay. Thank you so much.
2007, if you can remember 2017, Welker picked Youngquist. And Youngquist said, if you can remember, if you can play that tape, Youngquist said that if they become president, they would never pick anybody from outside of the country. Youngquist said that. And I came on your show, I told you, I said, Youngquist is going to fail. Because what happens is, you don't going to learn any new idea. What happens is, if you decide to say that we are the one who learn, there's no new thing you're learning from them.
Yeah.
Is to make sure that we all do this one thing over and over, and will be the same result.
Thank you.
And I just want also to make sure that we tell people these things.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. That's the end of the call tonight. We are already out of time. Yeah, the Liberal Progressive. Let's see. Who you texting? Is that on my broadcast?
Well, I just want to predict this, and my political. As a political genius, you will see again that whenever I say, and you have to follow me. I told you guys before that if Cummings doesn't go second, it's going to be disastrous, and that's exactly what we're seeing tonight. But this is what I want to say. My sister, I've not talked to her. I've never connected with her for so long. It's been a long, long time. But my sources are telling me she will endorse Ambassador Barkai tomorrow.
Oh.
Now, in that
who your sister? We're not in society bullshit.
Senator Nyomli Kanka Lawrence will be endorsing Ambassador Barkai tomorrow.
That's what you're hearing from?
That's what I'm hearing from my sources. And they're also telling me that they are setting rules or criteria or demand that was sent, and those demand has been accepted by Unity Party.
Oh, but Youngly, she's not crazy. It's
they're setting up once that endorsement comes to play, she will play a major role in the upcoming.
She'll be the campaign chairman.
Well, not only that, but she will also be.
I can tell you that now.
She wants to be the pro tem.
Exactly. So there are some good thing that is coming to Liberia, and the stabilizer is going to be stabilizing the country and stabilize it for coming next time, for coming to come and pick it up when it's already been stabilized.
Hold your peace, Mally Jones. This is what liberal folks are telling us. That wouldn't be a surprise. We were talking almost something in the same context. Comment who have either gone, if it doesn't, when you go in for negotiations, you go on the two fronts. You have to have a contingency plan, backup plan. If you find out the vice presidency because of some of the things, cut deals. I think we have that conversation here. Politician makes deal, and that's what they can do. Because if Nyomli Kanga, from what we are hearing, liberal sources are telling him, and been validated by the man from the far right, I'm not sure whether he's happy over that idea, but he can deal with it.
No, I got that information 3 days ago.
Darius Dillon will follow suit. Nyomli Kanga negotiating with Unity Party is as equivalent to Darius Dillon also negotiating, because they will need that support. And in order for the president's agenda to move smoothly, everything comes from both the House and the Senate. Who knows?
But yes, Mr. So I don't mean to interrupt. Please let me drop this. Let me drop this in, then you can continue. In that negotiation, in that proposal, one of the things my sources were telling me is that Liberty Party and the Unity Party have agreed. For example, if Liberty Party is forcing the putting up a candidate in Grand Union County, Unity Party will not oppose and not going to put up a candidate in our county as well. So those, and I'm just using Grand Union as an example. Whatever, whatever county or whatever district, Liberty Party from the Nyambli wing posing a candidate, Unity Party will not bring in candidate in that area as well. So that's that. If that negotiation holds and it goes through, then I think she did a great job for Liberty Party.
That's good political consolidation. You saw that her tweet recently, right? That her comment, that tweet, everything is embedded within that yet. But we are out of time here. Hopefully, we're going to have a special edition tomorrow here. So they know you now, right? You don't, even though they don't know you, but they know you now.
Oh no,
she's my sister. She knows me, but we don't talk much.
Is that your
even when we talk, we don't talk politics.
Your sister, I saw you texting. Was she the one texting you? Because
no, that was my sources.
Okay, guys, time has caught up with us here. So let's cap it here this evening. What could be the big takeaway? What do we anticipate saying tomorrow? What should we hear? When the name comes out, will there be a subsequent delay? And if there's a subsequent delay, what could be the fallout out of it? Mally Jones. But
yeah,
Jones, tell me, Mally.
Yeah, Mr. Moderator, I'm a bit disappointed in the sense that whenever you cross the line, come to the United States or elsewhere in Europe, and you go by, you try to participate in politics, people perceive you to be the black sheep in the room. I think it's about time that we go away from the tribal and ethnic politics in like Europe, because it's even among the political parties. My focus now is, thank God I'm here. I've had a critical thought down. I want to follow someone who is qualified, someone who is giving me a very new and different message. But here is the thing. What they are saying is highly consolidated in our culture. That's true. Yeah. But then, that's how to solve the problem. Then you got to get yourself surrounded by so many of these tribal and ethnic politicians to speak on your behalf on the campaign trail, since that is the order of the day. That one. Two, I just heard the Liberal talk about Yombli Kanga political deal, which are very applicable in all circumstances in politics. But I'm very disappointed. A Yombli Kanga have been slapped in the face, and Joe Barker and his team decided to circumvent and picking someone else to be vice president. The most top and prestigious job that I may ever want to put my neck on the chopping board and come from the back to do bad deed for other minister or pro tempore. That's a slap in Yombli Kanga's face. So it's like I'm being given the feeling to conclude that she can just fall for anything. Just for anything. And a politician that can just fall for anything, they are not stable. They are not dependable. They are not reliable. So there where my disappointment come in. I thought she would just remain neutral or go as a vice president. That's the most important thing. Pro temp, minister, all those things. After being slapped in the face, that's a disappointment for a Yombli and her party wing. And she's happy about that. And Liberal and other well-wishers supporting her.
Let me push back on soon to be New England PhD. Let me push back on your little bit, sir. Look, here's what's happening. If what I'm hearing, if it is true, that I think then it is good for the senator, because then it shows to people, it demonstrates to all of us that she's not putting herself above the interest of those that she's leading. For example, you're quite correct because I was angry. I was disappointed. Well, not disappointed. I was frustrated. The fact that she was not selected. And so I, in fact, told you here on this program that she shouldn't be bothered with Ambassador Baka anymore and go to
But
Cummings.
where do you stand?
Yeah.
But what,
You don't know this guy from time to time.
Don't worry about where I stand.
Just
I'm an
correct yourself.
intellectual. Listen. In this political arena, you cannot be a static. You can't just stand
But
one
have
place.
a principle.
Listen, that's fine. That's fine. You have the right to think the way you think. But I'm a liberal. I am evolving from time to time. My critical thinking is to see what is the circumstances of things are right now. Okay, but let me go. I'm not here to certify you and your far right brother. I know you see what I told you yesterday. I told you, I said they may not here right now. You myself with Google, but as soon as the man show up, look at his look at you tonight, Mr. George. But that's who you are, central right. Once you have Mr. So to help you out, we're in trouble. But that's okay. I can deal with it. I'm always a counterbalance here for both of you. But let me make this point to Mr. Jones, and this is it. If she was to, what I'm hearing, if it is true, then it just shows and demonstrates to all of us that she truly, in fact, is a good leader who will not put their self-interest, because she should be upset individually and as a personal issue. She should be upset because she got, like you said, slap in the face. But it's not about her. It is about the country. How can she and who can she support to stabilize and change the dynamic of the country, to make sure the Liberian people enjoy the benefit of their resources? So if she put herself behind and say, I'm going to go and accept whatever it is that happened to me, but I am going to show my interest for the Liberian people, then I think she has done a wonderful, wonderful job. And the second thing I want to point out very quickly, she's very young. So she still have time. In fact, like I stated earlier, I think all of them are jockeying for position for the next presidential election. And I think for her, she stands a wonderful chance to be supported, not just by Liberty Party, but the majority of Unity Party. Because remember, Senator Coolidge, member of Unity Party. And then the next time when he's running, he's not going to be seeking the presidency based on Unity Party support. It will be coming. He's going to be standing bearer for Prince Johnson Party. So my sister is standing in a good position. We love the position we're in right now. We love it.
For Prince Johnson Party, so she endorsing Prince Johnson's creation?
Yeah, Libra, let me tell you something.
Oh my God.
That is your view. You telling me?
Okay, guys, we are already out of time. Let's wrap it up. Let's just add a closing argument. We're already out, so that hopefully we're going to have a special edition, but we're going to send a message in the chat room.
Okay.
Because something unusual, something up.
So let me just say this.
Can you put Mr. So? Can you put Mr. Anthony George Crawford comment on the platform for people to see exactly what he's talking about? Can you put it up there?
He commended you, so that's what he's talking about.
Mr. George, I'm not asking for comment. Mr. So, put it up. Will you please? Mr.
Ooh.
So, could you please put it up? Mr. So, put it up so the entire world can see it. Mr. So, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. So. Appreciate that.
Mary, yesterday, I was asking you a question. You see where Annie? When I made that statement, I said this thing is a two-way street. And you are insisting that suppose, they must talk to them, they want to do everything you get a narrative, the man want the woman, they got to be persistent, this and that. You see, because I knew my sources were telling me something. That's why I was pushing you with that question. But anyway, here's the thing here. My closing thought on the whole issue here is, or go back to my old saying, Liberians must get away from this tribal thing. It will not help our country. I think we should be talking about people who are competent, capable to lead our country, regardless of what region they come from, regardless of what language, tribe, or dialect they speak. But if they are qualified and competent, that will bring something new to the table, we should embrace that person. Because sometimes I always say, the parent man will not help me, but sometimes the lawman man will help me or the guild man will help me. So if I see the guild man, the parent man, and I think the guild man can offer something better, I should lead that parent man and go to the guild man. But this thing is still happening. This jealousy that when people come here, they go by their now stranger, they want to grab everything from them. But when you're sending the money there, they don't question that money. When they're calling you, they don't question it. They don't question it. And it's just dangerous for us to still be looking at classifying people that this person is a stranger, this person is just wrong. We have to stop it. And the only way we can say is for us to continue to have the opportunity on the platform to continue to call these people up. Say it loud and clear. It's not right for our country. So I just want to close on that note.
Okay. Well, what a night. Liberat, what's your closing argument? You done already?
The man done. The man said, the American strike a good day.
We're not hearing you.
Could you please give me 1 minute of or even less than a minute? This is my closing argument. This is my closing argument.
Mr. So,
thank you very much and good night.
We know this song where it took us and where it led us to. Something told. Mr. So, I got into say.
Jones Otavio Mali.
Yeah, I said I think I agree with analyst George. You see, these are the songs that consolidated this ethnic and tribal politics in like
that's why he blamed them.
And to be very frank with you, the tribal and ethnic politics have kept Liberia down. But as an expert, public relation expert, I have got solution for it if I'm working for any of these parties, where we'll put my candidacy into place and just not worry about these things. This is why I was happy when Cummins brought the 34 strong, wise men, he called them, to work with him. I said, oh, very good. Then they can take over the tribal aspect now. Then he can take over the Western aspect. So what? From my suggestion, Kumi will stay to the back and push the tribal politician to do the dirty job, and he become president tomorrow. It's simple. Yes. So a lot of people go with their tribal thing and ethnic thing, go to Nigeria, get 25 well-renowned Nigerians. They speak on your behalf and promote your image. You stay in Monrovia looking for money. The thing's simple. But this is my point, moderator. I can see,
guys, thank you so much.
Mr. Moderator, I can see a future one day where the elite population will grow to overtake the tribal and ethnic population, and the problem will be solved.
All right, guys, thank you so much for the show. But what has happened tomorrow, based on what Libra is reporting or telling us, that's the danger in politics. If that program or whether in event or any press statement tomorrow coming from Nyombli Kanga Lawrence, what that does, it undercut, it has split the narrative of the talking point of whatever going to be coming out of the ANC. And this is why public relations is so key. It's so sad, and they get some good folks, but they're not talking to them. They are unable to, they're not spending the money they're supposed to spend. And that's why. So what Unity Party has done, they still try, or if it goes at playing, they're trying to devalue his political, Ellis Cummins. Because even when he announced vice president, if he announces Kennedy now, Media loves the news. We're going to grab all of this. The implications of Nyombli's decision tomorrow, if it is to be announced publicly. I wouldn't be surprised Darius Dillon and all of those people falling, by the way. The Benena Uri, you will be caught. If I win, Benena Uri, you're going to go back to your maritime. You spend a lot. Henry Costa, I won't be surprised if the all falls in that kennel. Nyombli will now go and leave Costa then by. Darius Dillon will now go and they leave Costa.
No, Costa is now on board.
Well, we don't. You never know. These
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
I'm telling you,
Mr. So, you missed. I know we're closing up, but you missed a serious point here. And let me just expand on that here, just 1 or 2 seconds. And that is, you said they're refusing to spend the money. Comey is not refusing to spend money. Look what happened to that $70,000. That $70,000 debacle. There are people within the circle that just want something for themselves. If you were to go deep into that $70,000 business, you will find that many people hands in the $70,000.
And that's why you, as a leader, you have to take some decisive decisions. Other people must feed the pain.
And that's what I said. They are now on the same page. These people are now on the same page, and as a result, you're going to have these kinds of debacle, and you're going to have these kind of fiasco.
Okay, guys.
Thank you very much.
The race to the fortified executive mansion continues. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But Unity Party has done some, what I call strategic. John knows that. If they come up with that announcement tomorrow, what they have done is to undercut whatever coming out of ANC convention, saying, we do not have an idea what kind of name surfacing. It's a guess game. So what they did now, they jump ahead of the shadow to create a narrative, and that's where the media attention going to be going. That's why it is dangerous. If you don't have people to counsel you, why you think these great people here have advisors? But these people, they sit down here, these little chihuahua, they sit down, they insult, they don't want to be a good listeners, they don't want to be persuasive in their argument. They are not pushing the people that they are supporting agenda to draw the contrast, and they create a theater for people to laugh and they think it's okay. What happens at the end of the day, it becomes a political suicide to the guy. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Let's see what happens tomorrow. If need be, we're going to assemble here and see what happens so that we can have a conversation. Imo George, I hope you will sleep well. Do not allow anything to elevate your cholesterol, your blood pressure. Liberal did that. That's why he played. I told you never to hang up with this guy, but you don't listen. Marley Jones, be aware of the liberal.
No.
He's very ideological.
He's okay.
Trying to get you guys in his column.
He's okay. No. I told myself cannot be in this political. We can't be in the same column. No way. He's not stable. That's why
the man said he's involved. When
he's not
there's no chance that when he gets exposed.
Politically, something to my against that cannot be in the same column. No way.
Boy.
We can't do any other thing, but politically, no.
Okay, guy. Thank you so much. You have a pleasant day.
Thank you.
Okay, well, folks, that does it this event. I am Afonso Zienso of the Liberal Public Radio 10 LPR-TV. To all our viewers, listeners, your comments, your Twitter, Mr. Crawford, Mr. Hedges, Crewboard, Manan Agnes, Backplate Yount, and all of our primetime viewers, listeners. Thank you so much, Stephen Slat and Washington, and all of you great people, Esther, Archimode, Derek. That's the uncertainty of politics. It's been calculated. That is a strategic move by the Unity Party. If this happens tomorrow, to steal the show, that's the danger involved in delaying to create the news story so that we capture the imaginations of the news outlet. The media pivots in the direction where the news goes. And if Nyombi can't get tomorrow to mount before the microphone, trust me, it undercuts what's going to be happening. The media are going to split. Including myself, we're going to split. Instead of focusing one side to create a narrative, we're going to go this way, we're going to go that way, and the proper attention will not be given. We're going to wait and see. We surely we do not know anything can happen, dependent on the positions of the ANC, wherever they are. Politics, if you are tatlets, if you're wearing pimpers, do not get in politics. There are so much uncertainty involved, big surprises, and you don't have to be disappointed. Where your interest lies is where you go, and this is why politicians are very good of cutting deal. I am Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. If this is the first time, we say thank you for being with us. If for any reason we did not speak your language, your political language, your tone, what you intend or wanted to hear, that's not what we do here. Sometimes we go beyond the borderlines and talk things that you might not like, but we are on an obligation to say things that you need to know. Sometimes it pains me when I watch other outlets that tend to be the voices of politicians or political party, which is okay, but they allowed the narrative to go off track and focus. Instead of selling the agenda of their people, they don't. And when you do that, you alienate all who are coming to see whether they can go to get a takeaway. You scare them, to create a fear factor get into them. If this guy Afonso hanging our way, what happens when we make Afonso president? This guy will not give us chance, and it makes people to draw back. But they do not get it. They do not get it. This is why they need to have people to give them counsel, to advise them, to talk to them, to be able to make some. You must have people to make some persuasive arguments at this point in time. You don't want to insult audience now who disagree with you. You don't want to call people. You don't know who. People are using fictitious names, but they are potential voters. Your tone must be appealing, it must be conciliatory, because you tend to reflect the image of someone that you think you are supporting. So when you create that wall of Jericho, what that does, you fear people away, and they will say, look at the kind of person who even talking for them. Have a pleasant evening. By God's willing, let's see what happens tomorrow in the day, and we will have a conversation here. Thank you so much for your commitment to this network. Let's put Liberia first, because it is the only country that we have. We need to have leaders, people who will be held accountable. And we need to have a conversation to open the door for conversations, to open the door of real issues. By this time, we must be focusing on policy issues, economic issues, infrastructure issues, education, agriculture, health. Now who didn't tell who when they were picking vice president? Who cares? It doesn't help anything, Liberia. That's not what we should be focusing on now. We should be looking at the vice presidential hopeful who was picked. What does he bring to the table? We should be looking at the president. What's other tax going to be assigned to that vice president? I don't want vice president responsibility, group of 72nd, Liberian lottery. No. That's not what I want. I want specific task where he or she will proxy the affairs of the president of the Republic of Liberia. And that idea, mindset, vice president is a ceremonial. Don't bring that to us. We do not want no Santa Claus. We do not want no ceremonious vice president who can say anything, who can stand for the Constitution, not just for your party, but for the Constitution. When you become a vice president, you are the vice president of the Republic of Liberia. Not vice president for CDC, not vice president for Unity Party, not vice president for ANC, not vice president for Liberty Party. When we begin to preach louder and louder these arguments to the electors, it's going to give them hope who these people are and how we can hold them accountable. Thank you so much. Let's take you to Greater Liberia as we sign off into this edition.
Mama.